Well, guys, we're going to keep it moving. We got more guests. We got lots of stuff happening. It's all happening. Right now, we've got two ladies that maybe, if you didn't ask them, get all your questions answered yesterday, you can do it right now. Get ready for Briana, Buckmaster, and Kim Rhodes! What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad girls, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come? I don't know. Bad girls, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad girls, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
Apparently leave. I had this moment of like, guys. Hi.
Hi.
Jesus Christ. Hi. Thank you so much, everyone. Good day to you. Love your work.
Big
Love
fan.
the shirt. Love the shoes. Love it all.
There we go. Love you.
Hello, you.
There we go. Hey.
How's everyone feeling? Sounds like you guys drank too much at karaoke last night.
Can't drink it, Karen.
True or false? Beep.
They refuse to answer. And the
I get you. I hear that. I was a good girl last night. Are you gonna sit for this one?
I don't know. I hurt, but I'm drinking coffee, so it's anyone's guess.
She's drinking coffee and then the other bottle is just full of hand sanitizer. Imagine.
I can.
I mean, yes, I can. Guys, I did not go out last night. I know. But I did order a mediocre salmon to my room for $7,000. So that's kind of the same, right? It's kind of like I won something in Vegas. What did you do last night?
My daughter really enjoys FaceTime because she puts me down and I am a captive audience. So I spent half an hour watching her do flips on the bed. Okay, this time, Mommy,
pretty good.
you need to be so surprised you faint. And don't wake up until I scare you. Okay.
Don't wake up till I scare you.
Oh no, she may end up being a director.
I love that.
She has very, very specific instructions. She's very clear.
She's
when
not
she
taking no
delivers
for an
them.
answer.
Does not
Yeah,
take no
love
for an
that.
answer, and it's all camera related. She's very like, all right, here's the shot I want to get. Here's what I'm gonna do, and here's your mandatory response.
Mandatory response. I'm gonna add that to all of my emails. The mandatory response to this email is...
You know what? Life would be so much better if we did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like
this is how
here's-
I'd like you to respond.
Yeah. Here are your lines.
Yeah.
Please, fucking read them.
Maybe that's why we as actors have such a hard time in life, is because we're like, no, you have lines. I have lines for you in my head that you're fucking up the script, motherfucker. Maybe that's why. Fucking actors. Am I right? Yeah, I hear you. Well done, everyone.
Wake the fuck up! Okay, we'll get him.
Oh, you're gonna get it. I'm gonna talk about my period so much today. Okay, let's take a question.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, lovelies. So I have a question. I was listening to your Wayward podcast episode on morals last night, and I was wondering if you think honesty is the best policy always applies, and if it doesn't, are there instances where it wouldn't apply?
Did we talk about that in the podcast? Yes? I don't remember what we said.
Did we talk about honesty as a policy?
We talked about that
As a moral?
specifically? No. Okay, cool. That's a great question.
I think honesty always applies. I work, some of you may know what I'm saying, a life of rigorous honesty. However, part of that honesty is sometimes I need to take care of myself. So, like with asking questions, you can ask me anything, but I give myself the right to say, I honor your question, I choose not to answer it. So, I don't lie anymore if I can help it. I am hardwired to be a liar because it makes me feel like I'm controlling and manipulating and taking care of your feelings. And quite frankly, you're the only person who can take care of your feelings. So, I do you no favors when I lie to you, even if I'm telling you what I think you need to hear. You don't get to connect with me that way, and you don't get to see truth that way. So for me, honesty is always the best policy. However, that does not mean I have the right to inflict my experience on you. I don't get to be like, listen, I'm just being honest. You suck. Because that's not a fact. That's my opinion. So shut the fuck up. Not my right.
Same. No, I'm with you. Like, I don't lie, mostly because I'm too lazy to lie. Lying makes me sweaty, and I'm sweaty enough. So I just don't. I've never been a liar. I've been an oversharer. I tell people things, but I only tell people things when they ask. So in that sense, I guess I would say honesty is not always the best policy, in the sense where Kim was like, I'm gonna give you my opinion because it's my truth. Sometimes a person's truth is not, no, wait. Sometimes a person's truth is not somebody else's truth, and sometimes a person's truth is really just that they want to be an asshole. That's the truth.
And so my response to this is, the first person I have to be honest with is myself. So if I'm going to just be honest in that way that we all know people have used honesty as an excuse to inflict harm, quite frankly, I need to be honest with myself with what are my fucking motivations? Why am I even saying this? If I'm saying this, you know what? Like mothering. Has anybody in here been given helpful, honest advice about your parenting skills? I'm just being honest. I really think she'd benefit from some stronger boundaries. I'm just being honest. I've had really, really great results with a change in diet, and I notice she eats a lot of gluten. I'm just being honest. I think she should be medicated. If you're being honest and your intention is to help me, then there's one fucking question to ask. How can I help you? Your opinion is not honesty. Your opinion is an intention you are not being honest about. Clearly, the coffee has overridden the pain, and I'm pissed about some shit. Let's get this panel started!
So Kim answered for me. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. So I love you both first off, but my question today is for Kim. So I love you like so much, like you were like my favorite actress ever. My question for you is, what's your most favorited role that you've ever played? Because I like remember you all the way back to like The Sweet Life, and I just love you.
Thank you so much. I also enjoyed my time on The Sweet Life of Cody and Zach. It was a really special time, but I'd like to take it back even further. Some of you don't know this, but I actually was a child actress. There was a show called Tigger in the Square. And it was... Sorry. I just get really emotional when I think about it. There was a puppet tiger named Tigger. And, sorry. And a really nerdy little girl who was me. And they called me the Square. That was before anti-bullying campaigns and things like that. So, me and the puppet would yammer on, and we would talk about daily life. I was at the age of, 3.5, but my vocabulary skills at that age were quite tremendous. She's turned away from the answer. She's so confused right now. I won't go into it, but I will say that what happened in that childhood television show ended up being the greatest music career of my entire life. We actually ended up taking the show to Broadway. We had 14 double platinum albums. Tigger in the Square, Tigger in the Square, Take Denver, Tigger in the Square in Manhattan with the Muppets. It was a big part of my career. I'm surprised you haven't actually seen it. I mean, you are a big fan, am I right?
Yeah.
So you should Google it.
Like,
Google
you
it.
guys are confusing me right now. It's like I'm pretty sure there was no Tigger.
You wanted Kim to answer a question, huh? All right. She can answer now.
It's okay. No, this is for those of you who
We like
have
to
not
fuck with you guys.
experienced the mayhem that is us. I much prefer alternate me, which is Briana's version of me, to my own boring answers. So sometimes I'm like, I have a question for Kim. I'm like, great, Briana's gonna answer it. And it's even better when she invents alternate me. Maybe I love it when people are like, we go all the way back to Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I'm like, that was halfway through my career, actually. I was on a soap opera called Another World. Anyone with that? Right? And before that, I did stage. So to actually answer your question, my favorite role I've ever played was Viola in 12th Night. Thank you.
Thanks for indulging us. Hi.
So I'm really nervous. This is the first convention where I felt brave enough to ask a question.
Oh, I'm so proud of you then. Yay!
So I wanted to know, what's your favorite scene that you've done with Jensen and Jared?
Where do they have the least clothes? I'm just kidding. They're always wearing way too many clothes. No, my favorite scene was for sure the donut scene. Or, very close second would be the brief moment that the four of us were in Baby. Because, you know why? Is because Kim and I were laying down the crassest jokes in the back seat, and Jared and Jensen didn't, I mean, they'd worked with you for a few seasons, but they were just like, what is happening? More of this, please. I remember Jensen just like laughing and jumping up and down in the front seat, just like hitting the steering wheel. He was so excited to have like two ladies laying down fart jokes faster than them. They weren't fart jokes. Yeah, so those two. Anytime that we have fun, which, I mean, there's a lot going on, especially for me. My character is a comedic character, but she hasn't had a comedic episode in a few seasons, so I really look back on that. I'm like, man, we laughed so hard, and I feel like I got to know Kim during hibbing that episode with Baby, so either of those two for me.
Yeah. My favorite was the sex ed dinner talk.
You must have laughed your head off.
Oh my God, it was so funny. It was, no, it was as fun to shoot as it looked like it would have been. Thank you.
Thank you, great job.
Congratulations! Yay, first question!
You did it. You goddamn did it. She'll never ask one again. She's like, that was the stupidest answer I've ever heard. Just kidding. Hi.
So my question is, what's your favorite mythical animal or legend?
I know, I'm wearing a shirt from, you get 3 guesses who gave me this shirt.
Yes.
Rachel Miner. And yet it is not. My favorite mythical animal is a dragon.
Oh, I was gonna say dragon.
Because I am the mother of one. I'm not the mother of all dragons, but my child is a dragon.
It's hard to beat a dragon. Really. Yeah. Especially after you see Game of Thrones, you're like, fucking, look at, they can do anything.
I was gonna watch Game of Thrones until the spoiler of...
Oh yeah.
And I just
right, I remember that.
Nope, clearly,
Yeah.
I am not going to
can't watch
enter
that.
into a relationship that is clearly going to shatter my heart.
Yeah.
I will not watch this
I
show.
know some of you know what we're talking
Based
about.
on that spoiler, and I will not tell you what it was.
Dragon. Dragon's rule.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. So I think I can speak for at least most of us that the show has been a major impact on our lives. So my question for you is, how has being on a TV show that has had such an impact impacted you and your work life or your work ethic?
Well, it gives me a job, first and foremost. Not the show, but this, meeting you guys, and you guys give me momentum and motivation to do stuff and be creative and give me like a reason to think of things that will make you happy. Like, this is a very cyclical relationship. Don't kid yourselves. You guys rule the world. So what was the second part of your question?
How has it impacted your personal life and your work ethic?
I like the work ethic question. That's interesting because I come from stage where I am immediately responsible to the audience and the audience communicates back with me. It is a two-way. I remember in college I took a basics of communication class because I wanted an easy A. Like, this is gonna be fun. And I remember the fact that communication is a cycle. The message needs to originate, be received, and then the response needs to come back. And it's very easy in television for communication to become a one-way street. I'm just putting it out there. I stop being invested in whether or not it's received. I stop being invested in how it's received. I stop being invested and I actually start thinking the message is about me, and it isn't. And because of this environment, my work ethic mandates that I remember I am doing this for you. I am a servant to the message, to the story, and to the amazing human beings that ask me to rise to the highest level I can be and set the bar so high that it fucking scares me and surprises me when I reach it. So I thank you for my work ethic, and I thank you for who I've become because of it.
Thank you.
Hi. Since it's International Women's Month and tomorrow's International Women's Day, I was wondering, who are your favorite women characters in all kinds of media?
Right now I'm thinking a lot of actresses as opposed to characters. I think one of my favorite characters of all time is Leslie Knope from Parks and Recreation. I feel like that was the first time I saw a character that was a female, was really very smart, and wasn't there to serve or be of service to a man. She was a lead role, she was a leader in her community, and she was happy. There was a very interesting character and fucking hysterical. Actresses-wise, though, there's a lot of women stepping up right now, and that makes me very, very happy. There are women that are using their voice to be representatives of people who are not perhaps ready to use their voices. There are people who are changing the landscape, culturally. There's people who are, working really hard to make sure that there are female directors, female writers, female actresses in the forefront. I think of like Jamila Jamil. Do you guys know who that is? She's changing things right now. Tracy Ellis Ross. I don't know if you know who that is, but she's my favorite right now. Anyway, there's lots of women, and I'm really proud of women who are, doing the thing for everybody else. Kimberly?
I like pink. I listen to my daughter is in charge of music when we drive, and she'll just be in the back, and I listen like, you're fucking perfect. If ever you think you're not, you're fucking perfect. And here's this woman who has been on a journey to find that inner self and the ability to say that to a child. And this is what it does to me in the front seat, and in the back, my daughter's just singing off key. So I'm constantly aware of the courage it takes to go on a journey. I'm looking at this little bunny down here, Miss Lana, and I've watched her journey. I'm a big fucking fan of you. I'm a fan of Diane. I'm a fan of Shelley. Where the fuck are you, Shelley? Fucking fan of Shelley. I'm a fan of so many of you. I'm such a fan of Briana Buckmaster. idea how brave she is. You have no fucking clue. I'm so proud of people who are brave, because right now it is fucking scary out there. It takes courage to get out of bed in the morning. So courage doesn't have to look like climbing a mountain or fucking slaying a dragon. It looks like whatever was hard for you to do and you did it anyway. So that's who I'm a fan of.
Yeah. Thank you. I couldn't touch you because my hands are so cold. I was like, I'm gonna touch her shoulder and she's gonna scream. Hi.
Good morning, you vivacious vixens of voluptuousness.
Look at you!
You can stay.
Thank you so much.
You've been doing conventions for several years now, and I'm wondering if you've seen an evolution or changes or growth in the conventions in terms of the people who attend, the people who are on stage, or just what you've seen, any differences or growth in the conventions themselves?
Well, I can't speak of the people that we work with because I feel like that's not fair. But yes, huge changes. I can speak of myself. I've had a whole evolution in the 4 years that I've been doing these conventions. But as Kim was just mentioning, some of you we see regularly, and we are in contact via social media, and we see what you've done. We've if you come to any concerts, I'm able to chat with you a little bit more than I am at the conventions. We see what you guys are doing, even if we don't comment. I think this is really important. I know engagement feels good to everybody, and I get that because it feels good to me, but I really want you to hear me when I say we see what you're doing. We see it on social media. We see it when we see you at autographs and photos. We see it when we see you in the audience. We recognize you. If we don't remember your name, that's because we're old. Doesn't mean we don't love you. And I think that if I can use this moment right now to remind you guys that what you're doing is good. Everything you're doing is good, even if it doesn't feel good, because you're moving, you're growing, you're going somewhere. And I just encourage you all to keep going because we're watching you. That accidentally sounded creepy. But
I like that. Through the little hole. Everybody goes home and puts tape over their camera on their laptops. They're like, oh fuck.
Oh my God. No, we are. We're really proud of you. We're really proud of you. Very proud of you. Thank you. Yeah. But she just wanted the gossip. She wanted to know, what's Richard Speight really like? I don't know. He doesn't tell us. Hi.
Hi. You two are two of my most favorite characters of the entire series, and I sadly had to miss your panel yesterday to get a supernatural-inspired tattoo.
Ooh!
So it was a good reason.
Yeah, we're very happy with that.
So I was just wondering, if you were to get a supernatural-inspired tattoo, what exactly would it be and where would it go?
Tell them the story.
Funny story. So, should I tell them the whole story?
Whole story.
I mean,
come on, we got time.
Okay, we got time. All right, so we knew our final Wayward campaign was coming up, and we wanted it to be Wayward forever. And so we had Scout design a crow. Now, it was funny because we were like, what should it be? And Briana goes, how do you feel about crows? I said, I have a little something, I have a little song, goes a little something like this, because I actually wrote an ode to crows in a coloring book I did a while ago. So I sent her that. She's like, oh my God, I love crows too. Okay, it should be a crow. We're gonna do crows. And so we had Scout design a crow that had WW as wingtips. And it was so fucking perfect, and it was gonna be amazing. And then 3 other boys got tattoos with W for Winchester. And we're not going to be copycats. So we did not get those. We ended up obviously doing something else. However, I still fucking got a big ass tattoo of a crow. So if I were going to get a supernatural inspired tattoo, it would be this. Because I fucking love you, you're my family, and I am a big fan of crows.
Can you believe it? We were going to do it. I swear to God, like we had the tattoo artist booked. And then I sent Kim the tweet. I was like, oh no. And it wasn't, we weren't begrudging that they did it. I think what they did was
Jensen actually told us to do it anyway.
I know.
Jensen, because I was much less, I was much more about, I was like, you fucker! But don't you have everything? You couldn't give us this? He's like, we didn't know. Do it anyway. Like, we'll support it. I'm like, no, it's okay. It's okay. You can, like,
You're so cute.
It's so cute.
I know.
No,
We were just like, no, that we didn't want to. We'll find our own thing.
No, and it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah,
Like,
so true.
It's moments like that where you're like, no, you know what? It's like covering a song. You know, I have learned slowly what I fit with for Saturday Night Special, and I have to listen to a song, and even if it's a good idea, if I have nothing to contribute to it, it's not my song to sing. And so the tattoos were a good idea, but I was like, no, they did it perfectly. You got it. Let's retire that one.
We'll find a new idea.
Like retire the tattoo jersey.
The tattoo jersey. What that? Just getting a jersey tattooed on you?
But I've seen it.
You've seen it?
I've seen it.
Oh, no. All right, thank you. Thank you. Hello.
Hi, I was curious, what was your immediate reaction when you learned that Wayward Sisters was a possibility? And what was your reaction when you learned it wasn't gonna happen?
Yeah, we're gonna sit down for this one. Just kidding, I'm gonna sit down.
Remember.
I do. We were in Australia.
Oh yeah.
Right? We were
That's
there
right,
for a
that's right.
convention. This was, must have been 2.5 years ago. And we both separately got an email from our management teams going, Warner Brothers has asked that we let them know. It was very, maybe. They were like, Warner Brothers would like you to let them know if you are in, the works for any pilots.
Yeah. If you get, we just want to be. It's basically first refusal. Hey, let us know if you have any conflicts come up.
Yeah.
Like
That's all the email was. But then Kim and I both went, I got this email, and we were like, oh, me too. And then we're like, whoa. Kim is very smart. She is smarter than me. I was like, we're gonna be famous. She was like, no, this is how this works. And I didn't know. I was new to all this. I was just so excited because in my brain, I manifested it because I've been talking about it for over a year. You guys have been talking about it. I was like, it's happening.
that's exactly that was the response. I think
Yeah.
that it's happening. It'll never happen.
Yeah.
Was my immediate response was, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get me to hope. Fuck off. Yeah, and then I went and hoped.
Yeah.
And I dreamed. And I believed. I'm still so fucking salty, and I think that with that one I'm gonna take to the grave. I'm gonna take that pain. It's like that one lover that you hope you run into because now you know exactly what you're gonna say to him. I mean, but they moved to Barbados, so the chances of running into them is very, very, very slim. But you still check up on the Facebook every once in a while. You try not to, but just fucking destroyed me. Because it's that panel for me today. I'm sorry, guys. If you're new, this is me. Welcome to me. I'm 50 and that was my last shot. Dude, shut up. I love your faith in me. The facts of this career are hard and painful. This is the first time in 30 years I have not had a pilot audition and people will not return my call. At some point, your career is over. At some point, you will never work again. At some point, no one wants to give you money, or if they do, they just can't make it work. That's okay. That's inherent in this industry. It's inherent in this life. It doesn't mean I have no worth. It doesn't mean I'm bad at what I do. It does mean I'm allowed to be sad and angry about it. It does mean I'm allowed to look back at what could have been and maybe be sad to what I attached to it. But that's all it is just attachment. I'm still gonna be okay. I'm still gonna be joyous. I'm still gonna be loud. I'm still gonna be here. You will still have to fucking put up with me. There's just always a possibility I will never act again. But there's always that possibility. There you go.
Thank you. I was on stage at karaoke in Rome, and somebody came up to me and went, "I'm so sorry Wayward didn't get picked up." And I went, "It didn't?" And I had to like run off stage, and I like called my husband, and then all the people came off stage, and they're like, "What happened?" Because that was the thing that was kind of a bummer about Wayward, was that it kind of would have been a spin-off for everybody. So I think a lot of actors were gunning for it, you know, or really hoping that it would happen, and so everybody was very bummed out. But it was awkward to be at a convention and try to like process those emotions. But I was very happy to be around our crew. I remember Jason's gonna kill me, but I don't give a shit. I remember afterwards, I was upset, and so Adam, Jason, Rich, Rob, we were all kind of like at a little like, after party, after karaoke, and everybody was trying to like, make me feel better and whatever. And Jason was like, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You don't have to keep a straight face if you don't want to. You don't have to not cry if you don't want to. And we don't have to not go to bed if you don't want to. Meaning he was like, we'll stay with you all night long. He was trying to be a pervert, but I just laughed really hard in his face. Which I don't think he wanted, but he got anyway. Anyway, that was a strange time. It was a strange time, but it happened, and we got the podcast out of it, so that's the silver lining, really.
Well, and honestly, we got Wayward back. Like, we got Wayward back. It's ours now. It was always yours.
That was the thing that Kim and I were always like, that show would have sucked anyways. We were like, we'd just be in the kitchen churning the chili. Girls, who'd you catch today? Anyway. All good.
Who's over there? She's moonwalking to you.
Hi.
What's your question?
Well, that was a beautiful moonwalk.
Thank you. I've been practicing for literally years.
I don't know if this is the right time, but I have a question about age.
About age?
Yeah.
I mean, no time like the present, because we might die. So.
My twin sister and I are here celebrating our 31st birthday.
Yay, happy birthday!
Feels really weird to me to be in my 30s, so I wanted to know if you all had any advice about your 30s as a whole. I know a lot of people say they enjoy their 30s more than their 20s. So just about that time in your life.
It does not get worse as you get older. It gets way better. Way better. There is, like, if you are an actress. I mean, this is not, Kim and I have different experiences when it comes to acting, because I didn't start acting in television until I was in my 30s. And so, I always think about because you started when you were in your 20s. Although, I don't think that, I don't know, did you ever play roles that were like the hot girl?
No, I always was almost hot enough for those roles.
Oh, okay, yes. That's my point. Like, I didn't play roles where in my 30s and 40s, I would feel looked over. I was always playing character roles or the second banana or, frankly, EMT number 2. But I remember my 30th birthday, I had a breakdown. So you're doing great. I remember just weeping and weeping, but I would have had a very different life when I was 30. I was living in a tiny apartment. We didn't have any money. We were like paying rent with our credit cards. I was so broke, and I was like, in my head, I was like, it's only gonna get worse. I'm 30 now. I'm not gonna get more work as an actor, right? But look at me now. Anyway, point being is, enjoy, don't panic, and it gets better. Way, way better. And you get better. Not because you look better or do anything different, but you start to appreciate yourself more and start to tell everybody else to go fuck themselves more.
Yeah, my experience has been as the world, whatever the fuck the world is, just the idea of my worth and visibility declines. The things I used to think I needed to fill me up actually are replaced by my ability to find it in myself. So I honestly, in spite of that little moment of short-circuiting, both can be true, right? And what is more true than my sadness about my career is my joy in myself has increased. Like honestly, like any relationship that you love, the more you get to know the person you love, the more you find you love about them. Have that with yourself.
Get it? Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday, sis. Get it. Hello.
So I was curious if Jody and Donna were dropped in the world of The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, how do you think they would react?
Oh my. Oh, we never had that question.
Are there monsters? Or just small children?
Yes, monsters. Both.
Okay. Okay.
Aren't they the same?
Same thing.
Yeah.
I think there would be running in the lobby.
And also, we have the same last name, Kim.
Oh! Are we separated at birth?
It's spelled exactly the same, too.
We're probably related.
There you go. We've done it.
Maybe.
Look, we've solved the world.
We did.
Found your long lost sibling.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, my question is if Donna and Jody were put into the Buffy the Vampire Slayer universe, what do you guys think their roles would be in that TV show, and what would their relationships with Buffy be?
Who's Buffy?
Sarah Michelle Gellar? I'm
just
sorry.
kidding. I know who she is. I know of the show. You guys really give us a lot of credit for being smart about TV. I watch so much TV, there's even a good chance I've seen that entire series, and I don't remember a fucking thing. I have not watched that series, so I don't actually know what happens other than there's a buck. I've seen the movie.
You know what I think, honestly?
I love that movie.
The only thing that I can tell you for Jody's sake, it's Giles, right? Not Giles, Giles. I think this would come out of her mouth. What the fuck is wrong with you? The girl needs a hug.
Kim, do you know the show well enough that you can answer for my character as well?
Donna and Spike would have a really long conversation.
Sizzle.
How does this work exactly?
Why, is he bad guy?
He's hot.
He's questionable. He's chaotic neutral, I'd say. I'm just gonna throw all the references in here. Do you agree with chaotic neutral where Spike's concerned? Yeah, I think so. So I think Donna would just be fascinated. She would have no fear. She'd just be like, explain how this works.
Here you go. Do you want some milk? You want some soup?
Yeah. She gets Spike some soup.
Some soup. That's so funny. Recently I was like, I've discovered the term chaotic neutral, and I've never felt like I've been more seen in my entire life. I was like, I feel like that's my next tattoo. Chaotic neutral. Thank you, whoever asked that. My brain is broken today, so I don't know where I am or who you are. Now where do I go?
I don't know, I'm stuck on whether
Put your
I
hand
would
up.
be also, I'm definitely not neutral. I think I'd be slightly chaotic good. I think, you think? Like Kim, not Jody. Jody's lawful good. Jody's like, there's no questioning where she went with that. But I think Kim's a little more chaotic good.
Hi.
Wrong convention, I know, but like my brain got hooked on it.
Where does that come from, those terms?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh! I made a Dungeons and Dragons reference? I am so proud of myself right now. Rachel's not even here. I always make her answer those questions for me. Hello.
Hi, so Miss Kim, I've heard you tell your wonderful story about how sweet and kind the boys were during your first interaction with them. So Miss Briana, I was wondering what your first reaction with the Jensen and Jern were like.
Dick holes. No, I've told this story before. It's so funny because the boys tell it differently, or at least Jensen does. Is that when I came outside, I was really new to working in television, so I was still new to being acting in front of cameras, which sounds, easy, but it's actually very distracting. And so I was like, okay, and then there's a whole hitting your mark thing. Lots of stuff was very new. The acting is fine, I can do that, but the other stuff was hard. So I was just trying to focus. And the first scene that we shot was this donut scene. It was the first scene, I literally was with Phil. Phil had pitched the idea that we eat the donuts. It wasn't in the script. He had pitched that to me while I was at wardrobe, and I was like, absolutely. I was like, give me any and all shenanigans. All I want to do is make people laugh. And he's like, yeah, Dean is a bit of an eater. Your character has, image problems. So let's, start off the scene this way, because it was just a scene about context and plot and stuff. So we're like, let's make it interesting. And so I come in, and I had been told that when you're in a rehearsal, because they do a rehearsal so that the camera people know where to set up and where lighting knows where to set up, they said, you do your rehearsal just like you would do when they're shooting. So I come in fully in costume, and I go and I grab the donut, and then when I bite into it, I actually bit into it. And when they said cut, I remember Jensen going, wow, you really went for it, hey? And I was like, was I not supposed to? Is there only one donut for all? I don't know. So they were very sweet. Jensen was very sweet. I think Jensen, the way he tells the story is that he was trying to make me laugh, and I wouldn't laugh. He was trying to make me, corpse is the term, and that he was like, oh, she's such a talented comedian, and I was just fucking terrified. That's why I wasn't laughing. But there's one scene in the blooper reel where he takes the biggest bite because he knew he was gonna, win me over. And I didn't even laugh, I just went, it's too much. I can't work like this, it's too much. But I was pregnant at the time, so I was very excited to eat all of those donuts. I didn't recognize that we'd have to eat 7,000 of them. So we made a joke long time ago, because there was a spit bucket, and Jensen we both ate the donuts, but he'd always let me spit first. Because he's a fucking gentleman like that. Yeah, they were both very dreamy. Very dreamy. Jared just laughed through the whole scene. Which is fair. It's totally fair. They're still dick holes, though.
Thank you.
Hi. So, Briana, as a woman who travels a lot for work, I really like the For the Curious that you've started.
Oh, cool,
so
thank
I
you.
wanted to know kind of what the story is behind that, how that came about, and where you guys see that going in the future.
So it was actually a few women who I didn't really know that well had approached me kind of via social media, and they had seen the stuff that I post specifically about the relationship between me and my daughter. I do travel for work. Last year I got a place in Los Angeles, so I was also going back and forth for that. I mean, we all travel for work. I had the addition of having 2 homes in different countries. But I posted something specifically about being away from my daughter like 3 years in a row on Mother's Day. And my girlfriend and now partner, Emily Key, that really resonated with her, and she thought that was very moving and sad, and also how strong the bond must be, and she was like, I want to riff on this more because she has a lot. She works in the tech industry, more of the corporate world, and she said that she and a lot of her peers struggle with that as well, being working mothers and the expectation that's put on them as working mothers. So she approached me about working on a project, which we haven't announced yet, but is going to probably be announced soon, so I won't say it now, but about what it's like to be a woman who is also a mother, who is also trying to achieve her dreams and goals as a professional. And we just want to make that kind of more of the new normal. You know? Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hi. How did it go?
It was great.
Oh,
we both
laughed.
almost died.
We cried. We almost hurt ourselves.
You cried, you almost died,
Yeah, that's like a day ending in Y for
but at
me.
least you tried.
Yes, I tried. We tried. We did.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kim Rhodes and Briana Buckmaster! Alright, what you gonna do? What you gonna do with the come for you? Bad girl, bad girl. What you gonna do? What you gonna do with the come for you? Bad girl, bad girl. What you gonna do? Looks like you're all race for the other. Bad girl, bad girl. What you gonna do? Where you gonna go when the next person comes to stage? Okay, that's our new song. So listen guys, right now, we're doing we're gonna do a little couple songs, what we'd like to call our vendor's room jam. So the band's gonna go out there and play a couple songs, then we're gonna be out there signing autographs. And something's happening on stage right now. Maybe any of you guys know? Costume contest? Let me verify that with my people backstage. Costume contest? Oh my God, guys. Well, get ready for this. It's time to get your game on. To take no prisoners. No holds barred. It's costume contest. A full contact sport. A costume contest. Somebody's gonna die. It's true, so be careful. And good luck. I'd like to make